In the vast expanse of the universe, the Galactic Empire reigned supreme. For millennia, they had conquered countless worlds, subjugating races and establishing their dominance across the stars. Their advanced technology and superior weapons made them an unstoppable force, and their thirst for power knew no bounds. The Empire's capital planet, Zorgan Prime, was a marvel of engineering and opulence. Towering skyscrapers pierced the sky, their gleaming surfaces reflecting the light of the twin suns. The streets buzzed with activity as various alien species, all subservient to the Empire, went about their daily lives. The Imperial Palace, a colossal structure that dwarfed all others, stood at the heart of the city, a symbol of the Empire's might and authority. In the Grand Throne Room, Emperor Zarkin sat upon his golden throne, his eyes gleaming with malice. He was a formidable figure, his body encased in a suit of advanced armor that enhanced his already considerable strength. His advisors and generals stood at attention, awaiting his command. "What news do you bring me?" Emperor Zarkin demanded, his voice echoing through the cavernous chamber. A nervous-looking advisor stepped forward, bowing deeply. "Your Excellency, our scouts have discovered a new race on the outskirts of our empire. They call themselves humans." Emperor Zarkin leaned forward, his interest piqued. "Humans? I have not heard of this race before. What do we know about them?" The advisor swallowed hard before continuing. "They are a primitive species, Your Excellency. They have only recently achieved interstellar travel and have not yet ventured far from their home planet. Our initial assessment suggests that they pose no significant threat to the Empire." A cruel smile played across Emperor Zarkin's lips. "Excellent. A new race to conquer and add to our growing empire. Prepare the fleet. We will show these humans the true power of the Galactic Empire." As the advisors scurried away to carry out his orders, Emperor Zarkin leaned back on his throne, his mind already plotting the subjugation of this new race. Little did he know that the humans would prove to be far more formidable than anyone could have anticipated. On Earth, life went on as usual. The human race had long dreamed of reaching the stars, and now, with the development of advanced space travel technology, that dream was becoming a reality. Space exploration programs were launched, and brave astronauts ventured out into the unknown, eager to discover what lay beyond their solar system. But the humans were unaware of the impending danger that lurked in the depths of space. They had no idea that their very existence had caught the attention of the most powerful empire in the galaxy, and that they were about to face a threat unlike any they had ever encountered before. In the months that followed, the Galactic Empire's scouts conducted covert missions to gather information about the humans. They studied their technology, their culture, and their way of life, all in preparation for the inevitable invasion. As the Empire's fleet assembled, ready to strike at a moment's notice, the humans remained blissfully ignorant of the storm that was about to descend upon them. They continued to go about their daily lives, unaware that their world was about to be turned upside down. Little did the Galactic Empire know that the humans possessed an indomitable spirit and a fierce determination to protect their own. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations, a battle that would determine the fate of not only the human race, but the entire galaxy itself. The Galactic Empire, in all its arrogance and power, was about to face an enemy unlike any they had ever encountered before. The humans, with their resilience and ingenuity, were ready to fight for their survival, no matter the cost. The war for the stars was about to begin. On the vibrant blue planet called Earth, the human race had evolved over millions of years. From humble beginnings, they had risen to become the dominant species on their world, their curiosity and determination driving them to explore and conquer every corner of their planet. As the humans advanced, so did their technology. They developed powerful machines and sophisticated tools that allowed them to shape their environment and improve their way of life. They built towering cities, connected continents with transportation networks, and harnessed the power of the atom to fuel their ever-growing needs. But the humans were not content to remain confined to their own world. They looked up at the stars and dreamed of what lay beyond. With each passing year, their space exploration programs grew more ambitious, and they sent probes and satellites into the vast expanse of the cosmos, seeking answers to the mysteries of the universe. The humans' early forays into space were tentative at first, but as they gained confidence and knowledge, they pushed the boundaries further. They sent astronauts to their moon, a monumental achievement that showcased their determination and ingenuity. They established space stations and conducted experiments in zero gravity, paving the way for future generations of space explorers. As the humans' technology advanced, so did their ability to explore the stars. They developed faster and more efficient spacecraft, capable of traversing vast distances in shorter periods of time. They sent probes to neighboring planets, gathering data and images that fascinated scientists and captured the imagination of the public. The humans' insatiable curiosity drove them to ask questions about the possibility of life beyond Earth. They scanned the skies for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence, hoping to find evidence that they were not alone in the universe. Little did they know that their search would soon yield results, but not in the way they had anticipated. Far across the galaxy, the Galactic Empire had taken notice of the humans' activities. The Empire's advanced sensors had detected the human space probes and transmissions, and they had become intrigued by this new race that had emerged on the galactic stage. Emperor Zarkin, sitting upon his throne on Zorgan Prime, received reports from his scouts about the humans' technological achievements. He was impressed by their rapid progress, but also saw them as a potential threat to the Empire's dominance. As the humans continued their space exploration efforts, they were unaware that they had attracted the attention of the most powerful force in the galaxy. The Galactic Empire's scouts watched from afar, studying the humans' every move and gathering intelligence on their capabilities. The stage was set for a fateful encounter between two vastly different civilizations. The humans, with their determination and resourcefulness, were about to face the most significant challenge in their history. The Galactic Empire, with its advanced technology and ruthless ambition, was poised to confront a race that defied their expectations. On Earth, the humans celebrated their achievements and looked to the future with hope and optimism. They had no idea that their first contact with an alien race would not be the peaceful encounter they had long dreamed of, but rather a battle for survival against an enemy that sought to conquer and subjugate them. As the Galactic Empire's fleet prepared to make its move, the humans remained unaware of the impending danger. They continued to push the boundaries of space exploration, driven by an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and a desire to unravel the secrets of the universe. The clash of civilizations was imminent, and the fate of the human race hung in the balance. Would their determination and ingenuity be enough to overcome the might of the Galactic Empire, or would they be crushed under the weight of an unstoppable force? Only time would tell, as the humans stood on the brink of their greatest challenge yet. As the Galactic Empire's fleet emerged from hyperspace on the outskirts of the human solar system, the stage was set for a confrontation that would change the course of history. The massive warships, each one bristling with advanced weaponry and shielding, moved into formation, ready to strike at the unsuspecting humans. On the bridge of the flagship, Emperor Zarkin stood tall, his eyes fixed on the viewscreen that displayed the blue planet called Earth. He had waited long for this moment, to bring another race under his heel and expand the reach of the Galactic Empire. Commence the invasion, Emperor Zarkin commanded, his voice cold and authoritative. Crush any resistance and bring me their leaders. We will show these humans the true power of the Empire. As the first wave of Imperial fighters descended upon Earth, the humans were caught completely off guard. The alien ships streaked across the sky, raining down laser fire and plasma bombs on the planet's surface. Cities crumbled, and millions of lives were lost in the blink of an eye. But the humans, despite their primitive technology, refused to surrender. They fought back with every weapon at their disposal, from missiles and fighter jets to ground-based defenses. They quickly adapted to the Empire's tactics, learning to anticipate their moves and exploit any weaknesses they could find. The human military leaders convened in secret bunkers, desperately trying to formulate a plan to repel the alien invaders. They analyzed the data gathered from the initial attack, seeking any information that could give them an advantage. As the battles raged across the globe, stories of human bravery and sacrifice began to emerge. Pilots engaged in dogfights with Imperial fighters, using their superior maneuverability to outfly the enemy. Ground troops fought street by street, using guerrilla tactics to ambush and defeat the Imperial forces. The Galactic Empire, accustomed to quick and decisive victories, found themselves bogged down in a prolonged conflict. The humans' determination and resourcefulness proved to be a formidable challenge, and the Empire's losses began to mount. Emperor Zarkin, watching the battles unfold from his flagship, grew increasingly frustrated. He had underestimated the humans, dismissing them as a primitive and weak species. Now he was forced to confront the reality that they were a force to be reckoned with. As the war stretched on, the humans began to develop new technologies and strategies to combat the Empire. They reverse-engineered captured Imperial weapons, adapting them to their own needs. They created shielding systems to protect their cities and developed advanced targeting systems to take down Imperial ships. The Galactic Empire, faced with an enemy that refused to yield, began to experience internal strife. Some members of the Imperial Council questioned the wisdom of continuing the invasion, arguing that the costs were becoming too high. But Emperor Zarkin, his pride and ego at stake, refused to back down. On the ground, human resistance fighters waged a guerrilla war against the Imperial occupation forces. They struck from the shadows, using hit-and-run tactics to keep the enemy off balance. They sabotaged supply lines, disrupted communications, and sowed chaos and confusion among the Imperial ranks. As the conflict escalated, it became clear that the Galactic Empire had underestimated the humans' will to survive. The invaders, once confident in their superiority, now found themselves mired in a war that they had not anticipated, against an enemy that refused to submit. The stage was set for a long and brutal conflict, one that would test the limits of both the Galactic Empire and the human race. The humans, united in their determination to protect their home and their way of life, were ready to fight to the bitter end. The Galactic Empire, its pride and reputation on the line, was equally determined to emerge victorious, no matter the cost. In the end, only one side would prevail, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. As the war between the Galactic Empire and the humans raged on, the humans knew that they needed to level the playing field. They couldn't hope to defeat the Empire with their current technology and weapons. The key to their survival lay in innovation and adaptation. In secret underground facilities, human scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to reverse-engineer the advanced technology they had captured from the Imperial forces. They studied the intricate designs of the Empire's weapons, ships, and shields, seeking to unlock their secrets and find ways to improve upon them. Slowly but surely, the humans began to make breakthroughs. They developed new alloys that could withstand the intense heat of Imperial laser weapons. They created more efficient power cores that allowed their ships to travel faster and farther than ever before. And they designed advanced artificial intelligence systems that could anticipate and counter the Empire's strategies. As the humans' technology improved, so did their chances of victory. They began to launch daring raids on Imperial outposts and supply lines, using their new weapons and ships to strike hard and fast. They targeted the Empire's communication networks, disrupting their ability to coordinate attacks and leaving them vulnerable to counterattacks. The Galactic Empire, caught off guard by the humans' sudden technological advancements, found themselves on the defensive. They had grown complacent, believing that their superior technology would always give them the upper hand. Now, they were forced to confront an enemy that was rapidly closing the gap. Emperor Zarkin, his frustration mounting with each passing day, demanded that his scientists and engineers find a way to regain the advantage. He poured vast resources into research and development, determined to crush the humans once and for all. But the humans were not content to simply defend their own territory. They knew that the only way to truly defeat the Empire was to take the fight to them. And so, with their newly upgraded ships and weapons, they launched a daring offensive into the heart of Imperial space. The human fleet, led by brave and cunning commanders, struck deep into enemy territory. They targeted key Imperial strongholds and shipyards, dealing devastating blows to the Empire's military infrastructure. They liberated enslaved alien races, forging alliances and building a coalition of resistance against the Empire. The Galactic Empire, stretched thin by the unexpected human offensive, struggled to respond. They were forced to divert resources from other campaigns to defend their core systems, leaving them vulnerable to attacks on multiple fronts. As the battles raged across the galaxy, stories of human heroism and ingenuity spread like wildfire. The once primitive species had become a force to be reckoned with, a shining example of the power of determination and unity in the face of overwhelming odds. The Empire's allies and vassal states, seeing the human success, began to question their loyalty to the Emperor. Some even began to secretly support the human cause, providing them with valuable intelligence and resources. Emperor Zarkin, his empire crumbling around him, grew increasingly desperate. He lashed out at his own advisors and generals, blaming them for the Empire's failures. He became more erratic and cruel, alienating even his most loyal supporters. As the human offensive pushed deeper into Imperial space, the Empire's resolve began to waver. The once mighty Galactic Empire, which had ruled the galaxy with an iron fist for centuries, was now on the brink of collapse. The humans, their confidence growing with each victory, knew that they were close to achieving the impossible. They had started as a primitive and insignificant species, dismissed by the Empire as beneath their notice. Now, they stood on the verge of toppling the greatest power the galaxy had ever known. The stage was set for a final showdown, a battle that would determine the fate of the galaxy for generations to come. The humans, armed with their advanced technology and unbreakable spirit, were ready to face the Empire head-on, no matter the cost. The Galactic Empire, its back against the wall, prepared to fight to the bitter end, determined to preserve its legacy of conquest and domination. In the end, only one side would emerge victorious, and the galaxy would never be the same again. As the war between the humans and the Galactic Empire reached a critical juncture, the humans knew that they needed a decisive advantage to turn the tide in their favor. They had made significant progress in upgrading their technology and weapons, but they still lacked the raw power to go toe-to-toe with the Empire's most advanced warships. That was until a team of human scientists made a groundbreaking discovery. While studying the Empire's technology, they stumbled upon a critical weakness in the design of their power cores. The Empire, in their arrogance, had overlooked a fundamental flaw that left their ships vulnerable to a specific type of energy weapon. The humans quickly set to work, developing a new weapon that could exploit this weakness. They called it the Nova Cannon, a massive energy weapon that could pierce through the Empire's shields and destroy their power cores in a single shot. The development of the Nova Cannon was a closely guarded secret, known only to a select few within the human resistance. They knew that if the Empire discovered their plans, they would spare no effort to destroy the weapon before it could be deployed. As the humans prepared to unveil their new weapon, they launched a series of diversionary attacks against the Empire's forces. They targeted key military installations and supply lines, drawing the Empire's attention away from their true objective. When the time was right, the humans struck. A small fleet of human ships, equipped with the Nova Cannon, jumped into the heart of Imperial space. They caught the Empire completely off guard, their ships unprepared for the devastating power of the new weapon. The Nova Cannon tore through the Empire's defenses like a hot knife through butter. The massive energy beam pierced through their shields and struck their power cores, causing catastrophic chain reactions that ripped their ships apart from the inside out. The Empire's fleet, once thought to be invincible, was decimated in a matter of hours. The humans, their spirits soaring with each victory, pressed their advantage, striking deeper into Imperial territory. News of the humans' success spread like wildfire throughout the galaxy. Alien races that had long suffered under the Empire's rule rose up in rebellion, joining the human cause and swelling their ranks. The Galactic Empire, its power and influence crumbling, descended into chaos. The Emperor's hold on his vassal states weakened as they sensed weakness and opportunity. Internal power struggles erupted as rival factions vied for control in the face of the Empire's impending collapse. The humans, seizing the moment, launched a final, all-out offensive against the Empire's capital world. They knew that if they could strike at the heart of the Empire's power, they could bring an end to the war once and for all. The battle for the capital was fierce and bloody, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The Empire's remaining loyalists fought with a desperate fury, knowing that their very way of life was at stake. But in the end, the humans' determination and the power of the Nova Cannon proved too much for the Empire to withstand. The human fleet broke through the Empire's defenses and laid siege to the capital city. In a final, desperate gamble, Emperor Zarkin himself took to the battlefield, leading his elite guard in a last stand against the human invaders. But even the Emperor's formidable skills and advanced technology were no match for the humans' resolve. As the Emperor fell, the last remnants of the Empire's resistance crumbled. The human forces stormed the Imperial Palace, planting their flag on the steps of the once mighty edifice. The war was over, and the humans had emerged victorious. The Galactic Empire, which had once seemed an unstoppable force, lay shattered and broken at their feet. But the humans knew that their work was far from over. They had won the war, but now they faced the daunting task of rebuilding a galaxy ravaged by centuries of Imperial rule. They knew that they would need to work tirelessly to forge a new era of peace, cooperation, and prosperity for all the races of the galaxy. As the human leaders gathered to begin the long process of healing and reconstruction, they knew that they had achieved something truly remarkable. They had started as a primitive and insignificant species, dismissed and underestimated by the powers that be. But through their determination, ingenuity, and unwavering spirit, they had toppled an empire and changed the course of galactic history forever. The galaxy would never be the same, and the humans would forever be remembered as the ones who had dared to stand up against tyranny and oppression, no matter the odds. They had proven that even the smallest and most unlikely of species could make a difference, and that the power of unity and hope could overcome even the darkest of forces. And so, a new chapter in the story of the galaxy began, with the humans at the forefront, ready to lead the way into a brighter and more hopeful future. As the news of the Galactic Empire's defeat spread across the galaxy, the remaining Imperial forces found themselves in a state of disarray and panic. The once mighty Empire, which had seemed invincible for so long, was now crumbling before their very eyes. On the Empire's former vassal worlds, the news was greeted with a mixture of joy and trepidation. Many of these worlds had suffered under the Empire's brutal rule for generations, their peoples enslaved and their resources plundered to fuel the Empire's insatiable appetite for conquest. But now, with the Empire's power broken, these worlds saw a chance for a new beginning. They began to throw off the shackles of Imperial oppression, declaring their independence and joining the growing coalition of free worlds that the humans had helped to forge. Some of these worlds, however, remained loyal to the Empire, either out of fear or a misplaced sense of loyalty. These worlds, led by Imperial governors and warlords, began to gather their forces, determined to make a last stand against the rising tide of change. The humans, anticipating this resistance, moved quickly to consolidate their gains and support their new allies. They sent envoys and aid to the newly liberated worlds, helping them to rebuild and establish new governments based on the principles of freedom and self-determination. At the same time, the human fleet continued its inexorable advance, pushing deeper into Imperial space and liberating world after world. The Empire's remaining forces, their morale shattered, and their supply lines cut, offered only token resistance, retreating in the face of the human onslaught. But even as the Empire's military power crumbled, a new threat emerged. Some of the Imperial warlords, seeing the writing on the wall, began to band together, forming a loose coalition of their own in an attempt to resist the human advance. These warlords, many of them ruthless and cunning, saw the Empire's defeat as an opportunity to carve out their own little empires in the chaos that followed. They began to raid and pillage the very worlds they had once sworn to protect, using the Empire's advanced weapons and technology to terrorize and subjugate the local populations. The humans, appalled by these atrocities, knew that they could not stand idly by while innocent people suffered. They rallied their allies and launched a series of lightning strikes against the warlords' strongholds, using their superior tactics and the power of the Nova Cannon to crush their resistance. The battles were fierce and bloody, with the warlords fighting with the desperate fury of cornered animals. But in the end, the humans' resolve and the strength of their alliances proved too much for the warlords to overcome. One by one, the warlords fell, their strongholds reduced to rubble, and their armies scattered to the winds. The worlds they had once terrorized celebrated their liberation, joining the growing coalition of free worlds that the humans had helped to create. As the last of the warlords was brought to justice, the humans knew that their work was still far from over. The galaxy had been ravaged by centuries of imperial rule, and many worlds were still struggling to rebuild and find their place in this new order. But the humans were determined to see this through. They worked tirelessly to help their allies rebuild, sharing their knowledge and resources freely. They established new trade routes and diplomatic ties, fostering a sense of unity and cooperation among the diverse races of the galaxy. And as the galaxy began to heal, the humans knew that they had accomplished something truly remarkable. They had not only defeated the Galactic Empire, but they had also helped to create a new era of peace and prosperity for all the peoples of the galaxy. The road ahead would not be easy, and there would be many challenges still to come. But the humans knew that they had the strength and the determination to face whatever lay ahead. They had proven that even the smallest and most unlikely of species could make a difference, and that the power of unity and hope could overcome even the darkest of forces. And so, as the galaxy looked to the future with renewed hope and optimism, the humans stood ready to lead the way, guided by the principles of freedom, justice, and equality that had brought them this far. The once insignificant species had become the guardians of the galaxy, and they would not rest until every world was free and every people had the chance to determine their own destiny. As the dust settled on the final battle for the Galactic Empire's capital world, the human fleet stood victorious amidst the ruins of the once mighty Imperial Palace. The Emperor lay dead at their feet, and the last remnants of his once fearsome army had surrendered or flowed into the depths of space. But even in the moment of their greatest triumph, the humans knew that their work was far from over. The Galactic Empire had left a legacy of pain and suffering that would take generations to heal, and the task of rebuilding a shattered galaxy would require all of their strength and determination. As the human leaders gathered in the palace's grand throne room, they knew that they had a momentous decision to make. They could claim the Empire's throne for themselves, ruling over the galaxy as the new masters of all they surveyed, or they could chart a different course, one based on the principles of freedom, cooperation, and mutual respect. In the end, the choice was clear. The humans had not fought this war for power or glory, but for the chance to create a better future for all the peoples of the galaxy. They would not become the very thing they had fought so hard to destroy. And so, in a moment that would be remembered for generations to come, the human leaders stepped forward and addressed the assembled crowd. They spoke of the sacrifices that had been made, of the brave men and women who had given their lives to bring about this victory. They spoke of the challenges that lay ahead, of the long and difficult road to healing and rebuilding. But most of all, they spoke of hope. They spoke of a galaxy where every race was equal, where every world was free to chart its own course. They spoke of a future where the old hatreds and divisions would be set aside, replaced by a new spirit of unity and cooperation. As the human leaders finished their speech, the crowd erupted in cheers and applause. The assembled alien races, many of whom had once been bitter enemies, now stood side by side, united in their determination to build a better future together. In the days and weeks that followed, the human leaders worked tirelessly to make their vision a reality. They met with the leaders of the newly liberated worlds, forging new alliances and trade agreements. They sent teams of engineers and scientists to help rebuild the shattered infrastructure of the galaxy, sharing their knowledge and resources freely. And as the galaxy began to heal, the humans knew that they had created something truly remarkable. They had not only defeated the Galactic Empire, but they had also laid the foundation for a new era of peace and prosperity that would endure for generations to come. The road ahead would not be easy, and there would be many challenges still to come. But the humans knew that they had the strength and the determination to face whatever lay ahead. They had proven that even the smallest and most unlikely of species could make a difference, and that the power of unity and hope could overcome even the darkest of forces. As the human leaders looked out over the stars, they knew that their journey was far from over. There were still many worlds to explore, many peoples to meet, and many challenges to overcome. But they also knew that they had the courage and the vision to face whatever lay ahead, guided by the principles of freedom, justice, and equality that had brought them this far. And so, as the galaxy looked to the future with renewed hope and optimism, the humans stood ready to lead the way. They had become the guardians of the galaxy, the protectors of the weak, and the champions of the oppressed. And they would not rest until every world was free, and every people had the chance to determine their own destiny. The once primitive species had risen to heights they had never dreamed possible, and they had changed the course of galactic history forever. And as they stood on the threshold of a new era, the humans knew that their greatest adventures were still to come.